No, I think everybody at our company is, for example, over and over again fascinated how diverse the country is and can be. And myself, I'm never left alone with this fascination because they are sources which one could tap into, which maybe cover either certain subsets of geography or already subsets of consumers. That would be the understanding of a phone make, or that would be understanding perhaps also what kind of credit card do I use. We have come across in the past statements from e-com and delivery platforms that were triangulating, of course, with what phone somebody has and what card does he pay with a Diners Club or an Amex or a more basic Regalia, HDFC or whatever, or whether he has the latest iPhone, or is it an iPhone or is it an Android, and what type of phone, to kind of level out and indicate affluence. Now, here, of course, one runs a lot also into kind of dead-end streets. It's always two sides to the medal. If I look isolated into certain kind of things, the automobile holding, the telecom behavior, my online, but also I still have to at least balance this up with my offline traces. That means my shopping and where do I go, what do I prefer also as leisure, etc. These are things which one statistically has to stitch together to cohorts. What we also see is, for example, that a lot of Indian businesses ask themselves, okay, who is my best customer? I'm seeing socio-demographic twins. People with the same income suddenly in my customer database behave very differently. People by the same income or even the same territory suddenly default or not default. And it's not only linked then to income, it's the same demographic, it's the same in profession, education. You can think of a merchant and trader and a young starter in an IT company, and both having the same income, family background. The one is rather a conservative urban middle class oriented person, and the other one is an upcoming affluent new wealth in an urban territory, and right now they are twins. How do I understand their actually developments if I want to grow them also as customers? Because I have a one-time touch point with them. Customer growth, growing on customer is also something which we see is today an extremely forward thinking of businesses who have been previously in recent years just looking at how to harvest more and more customers. Now one also looks, okay, how do I create that stickiness? How do I understand actually a kind of customer product affinity, my footprint? Is it also the same footprint like a peer of mine in the same industry, in the same product lines? And these are things whether coffee shop brands or NBFCs are today really concerned about. And like Andy says, then the outreach into actions, into programmatic, into retargeting, into messaging really on one's devices, and also, of course, knowing where I find them in the offline world.
Yeah, so look, that's a very tough question. Unfortunately, there's no really easy answer to that. Like Anders was saying, there are multiple data platforms mushrooming in India. And look at India as a market. It's extremely unique compared to anywhere else in the world. Okay, because in India you have all the big four already in this country. So you have Facebook, Meta, you have Amazon ecosystem, and of course then you have others relatively smaller but still equally influential ecosystems like Twitter, etc. Then you have the Indian walled gardens, right, which is Paytm, PhonePe, Jio ads, Airtel ads, etc., etc. And there's a whole line of D2C players who are sitting on data who want to try and monetize their inventory. And these are all closed ecosystems, one doesn't know the validity of the data, etc. And then now you have what I call as mega data platforms. Maybe something like Kentrix, which have access to millions of data points, which have been created and acquired through different ways, and now there's an opportunity to use that data to drive business needs. So each one of these ecosystems is an exciting ecosystem to partner with, right? But the truth is that the marketing dollar is limited, and the marketing bandwidth is also limited. So you have to eventually, and as a marketer or as a media professional, one would not go and put all your eggs in a basket unless you know that it is going to return value or ROI to you. So today, honestly, while we spend a lot of time with the platform representatives to understand where did the data come from, how do they generate multiple data points across each unique identifier within the ecosystem, that's the first step. But then, like I said, what we do is we do test campaigns where we look at either a market-specific campaign or an audience segment-specific campaign, set very measurable KPIs, and then we run campaigns on those audiences and look at the outcomes to see whether are they improving my benchmarks that I have on other ecosystems, are they equaling those benchmarks, or are they doing worse than them, right? And eventually it all comes down to ROIs and return on investment, right? That's the only single what you call as metric which matters to any business. That if I invest in a data ecosystem, does it return better ROI than investing that same rupee somewhere else? So is there a shortcut to deciding which data platform to work with? Unfortunately not. However, I think my recommendation to our teams is always meet up with as many partners as you can, because it's very important to understand how this ecosystem is shaping up. And while you meet these partners is when you will really hit upon those 2 or 3 partners who can really add serious value to your business or to your client's business, right? And the only way to measure that is to test and learn. I would recommend that potentially that's the safest way to go about it.